Hello, we are back. We are doing our Mary Mantle's consecration today, and it is a beautiful study consecration for 46 days. Every day we get together and we do the reading for that day, which is the numbered star. Today's 26. The star is the star of respect. There are 46 stars on her mantle, so today we're on day 26.
And it's this one. And if you don't know the story of Lady of Guadalupe, it'll be in the links below. And it shows the exact day that Juan Diego had that apparition. And the stars, that's how the scientists know. First of all, a human couldn't have done it. In her eye, the microscopically 500 years ago wasn't possible. So read that article.
Okay, so it's your turn today to read. And
Okay, so it's 26 star respect. The human being is a mystery, a whole universe unto himself. Each and every person is a unique island, never to be repeated throughout all of time. The first step in respecting others is to recognize that I know almost nothing about them because they are hallowed, unknown worlds. Lack of respect in the private arena of words is called gossip. And we who initiate or take part in it intrude upon the sacred world of others. We step into another's inner sanctuary and hold court, acting as a judge, condemn and make public their sentence. Reputations are ruined in a sentence. Peaceful air is now poisoned. They spoke badly of you, so speak badly of them. Thoughts become bullets that ricochet and kill. And rumors run from mouth to mouth, becoming more exaggerated and distorted each time, like cancerous tumors. In this state of affairs, no one truly listens to anyone, and no one speaks sincerely. Insecurity and suspicion fog the air, and transparency becomes impossible. Bodies sit in open rooms with imaginary doors slammed shut. As a consequence, each soul takes refuge in his or her inner world and outwardly assumes a defensive posture. Like a slow burning firework, lack of respect sets off sparks of loneliness, evasion, fear, and for its finale, a dazzling display of animosity. But from the point we comply with the virtue of mutual respect and we honor the living mystery of people God has placed beside us, from the moment we choose to bite our anxious tongues and treat others as we would the walking and breathing Jesus, seeds of trust are planted, and the tree of camaraderie grows, and acceptance and joy flourish in its branches. Wow, that was kind of dark there, but um the end really lightened it up. And I think, like I said, that's kind of what was happening in my world. I went through a horrible court case, and of course, when you're in a court case, you're bad mouthing the other person, and you're saying, "Well, he did this and she did that," and blah, 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 you know, that kind of thing. So, you think legalistically, you don't think human wise, right? So that I was like, that is true. And how it ended was just, of course, it's terrible stuff. But in the end, when you meet a Jeanette, um,
oh
you get
gosh,
that warmth and camaraderie. We have camaraderie, which is our little gang that Jeanette put together for us. She has a way of sucking people into her orbit.
the Holy Spirit put us together, not me, the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, but like when we were getting our St. Joseph consecration down at the shrine, we both saw these two people ahead of us, and they were very pious people. We could see it. I didn't know if it was a son and his mother because I didn't really look at their faces, or a couple. You immediately noticed, you talked to them, it was a couple, and you knew that they weren't there for the consecration, and you were inviting them to it. And I'm thinking, what is she doing? I don't know if Victoria's going to want that. Like, I was like all nervous about you doing that, but you took that initiative and you knew they needed that, and they were so thankful. They were very pious. You could see
Yes.
she had her veil on, and he had his rosary. She was
Yeah,
patting him.
I think they were from either Mexico or somewhere like that.
I
They
think
were
the Philippines.
Spanish.
I thought they were
No,
Philippines.
no, 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 they were Spanish.
Oh,
I spoke to them in Spanish.
oh,
And
okay.
afterwards, the priest that did the consecration, they stayed and talked to him for a while, and they
I
said they were going to
know.
return to have him marry them.
I know. It was
Yeah, yeah, that was
beautiful.
really nice. I was
And
very
you
happy.
were, and you did that. We did another star on what was that one? Was it on happiness or something? I forget what it was, but uh uh the ripple, I think, was it friendly? It was, I forget
Yeah,
which one it was.
friendliness.
Okay. And they did a study on the ripples and effects, and look at that. Jeanette affected who was going to marry them. She felt from them. I saw the same thing, but I would never like do that, so I was just like, oh gosh, I hope Victoria's not. I'm
I
like, what is
normally
she doing?
don't. I normally don't do that on
But
a
the
on
Holy
a on a
Spirit was.
normal basis. But when I'm in church or when I'm surrounded by godly people and godliness, it's like it's contagious. It's like you want to be
No, I
part of that
think
and
the
you
Holy
want to,
Spirit. I think the
yeah.
Holy Spirit talked to you, your
Oh
guardian
yeah.
angel. I really think that, you know, I think
You
the
just
guardian
want to
angel,
you just want to share the joy, you're
yeah.
feeling when you're in that atmosphere, when you're
Yeah,
in a
but
holy
something
place, you want
told
to
you.
share.
But something told you to do that. And I believe it was the
Yeah, it
Holy
is. It's the
Spirit.
Holy Spirit that moves
Yeah.
people, and you got to follow it. You can't stop it. You got to just
Yeah,
go
I
for
think
it.
you really did. And I was just like, what is she doing? And my son and my daughter-in-law were there, and my grandson, and so I was more focused on them. And you were, uh you saw the need, and you did the work of the Holy Spirit, the guardian angels, whichever you were doing that work. So it was beautiful. And 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 so this was a little dark, but in the end it really lifted with that
And there's so
feeling.
many, and there's so many forms of gossip, guys.
We isolate
You know,
ourselves.
you don't have to necessarily be the one saying the words, but sometimes if we just sit there and just listen to it and don't stop it in any way, that's also kind of contributing to it. And there's ways and ways of stopping it without putting people down.
Right.
You can go in the conversation and say something pleasing about the person. I'm sure you can find something nice about the person, and then, or you can just change the subject. Or
Jeanette's
else you
favorite
can just
thing.
say it. Well, we're not really in that situation. We're not really that person, so we really can't speak at
If
this
you know
moment.
the person, if you know the person that is you feel spreading gossip, then you could be, like you tell me, and I'm glad you do. You always tell me, and I tell you, and we tell each other because we're close.
Yeah.
But if you don't know the person, I think your change the subject is probably a better one. Um, Unless the other person you trust, because you also don't want to offend them when even though they're doing a bad habit, you want to kind of show them in a more indirect way if
Yeah,
you don't
maybe
know
they
them
don't
well.
realize it because sometimes when you
Right,
live so much in this world and you live so much around
right.
people that do that, it just becomes part of you too.
Right.
You know, it's
So
just normal.
so I think both, you depending on the situation, but um if you're the person doing the gossip, um sometimes somebody changing the subject, you might think, oh well, they don't believe me or whatever, so they get more insistent on whatever it is they're trying to spread, which happened to me, I told you about. And some of the stuff was so outlandish. It was more about a public figure that I'm on the same side as that person, but it was so conspiratorial. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's just not true, and I'm not, I couldn't even listen to it. So sometimes, you're on the receiving end when someone is so intense about these weird conspiracy things. And it's just like, I had a friend who she would never listen to this. She was trying to say Sandy Hook didn't happen. I'm like, come on, you sound ridiculous when you
See,
say that.
see
Yeah,
me, I don't even know who Sandy Hook is.
well, see, it isn't a
See? So
person.
to me, oh,
It,
it's
it what
not,
it
it's not a person. Oh, okay. Well, see,
No,
I don't
no,
listen
but
to
let
the
me tell
news
you
and
what
stuff.
happened. Well, let me tell you what happened with
I
this.
don't even know what
I
you're
told
talking about.
her, I told her she's not a Catholic, so she couldn't see truth. I told her that it's conspiratorial and it's also disrespectful to the parents that lost their children. It was a shooting in a school, Sandy Hook. I forget, was it Sandy Hook, New Jersey, or something like that? And guess what? Now there's a lawsuit because so many conspiratorial people were coming out, picking out people and saying, look, they were in another um thing and these are actors. It was so retarded. I just couldn't even listen. It irritated me so much. And
You, you
I
could
told
be
her,
praying instead.
yeah, I said it's so disrespectful to those parents. And guess what? Now there's a lawsuit. Again, in fact, I think it was Alex Jones. Yeah, Alex Jones got fined millions and millions of dollars. I never talked to that person after because I didn't want to embarrass them. But I'm thinking, see, you just have to be careful. The parents were so hurt by that because their children died and people are saying it's fake. So, so I couldn't be part of that. But I'm very close to that person. So I could say that to her. That's conspiratorial. And I'm sorry, I don't believe that. And then another person was saying things, and I don't like Obama, but they were saying things about his wife, that she's a man for real and they didn't really have those kids. It and I cannot stand Michelle Obama, but that was so disrespectful to her as a woman, and saying something racist like monk, really nasty. And I said, I don't like Obama, but that is like over the line. And I love you, but please, it makes me so uncomfortable when you do that because I don't even like that woman. And to have to defend her, I really resent it. But I'm not going to sit there and go along with that. So but again, I knew this person. Um, and she never ever again said anything racist like that again toward that person. And I love this person and she's such a good person. So it really surprised me, to be honest. But we have talked about things because we don't like him, Obama when he was in, but I just, to say things like that. And besides, if you look at their kids, they look exactly like their mother. They look exactly like their father. For people going in there and saying those kids aren't theirs, they're crazy because I see the family resemblance through both of them, So it's just so silly. So sometimes it could be that easy and you just can't stomach hearing someone doing that kind of gossip. But sometimes gossip, like Jeanette says, there's different kinds. Sometimes it's a little more subtle and you don't realize you're going along. And sometimes changing the subject, you feel like a coward where you feel like you should confront it. And maybe you could do it in a nicer way, like say, well, I don't like to make
Yeah.
judgments like that, and just use yourself and just
Also,
say,
how about watching like TV shows? Like, sometimes I get taken away in them too, like the housewives. the Jersey housewives or
Yeah, it's all
whatever.
gossipy stuff.
That's all gossip, guys. That's all
Oh,
gossipy. I love K-dramas. I do.
I know.
But, sometimes it's not good sometimes to spend so
Well,
much time doing that because it's not gossip, but it's a waste of your time, really, if you think about it.
well,
So a
I
little
like
bit's okay for entertainment, but the rest you gotta divide up your day and what you do with it, right?
I like to watch the Kardashians. They are just terrible.
I
Um,
don't.
they try to be Catholic, and they go to the church and they have their veils on, and it's so ridiculous. But I watch current events, like I look at the whole uh Harry and Meghan thing because they're so disrespectful to her parents, to his parents. I look at the evil part of it and to see where evil is working in relationships. I like reality shows for that, but I do not like housewives and that personal
Yeah.
fighting. Sometimes they hit each other. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
No, no, no. I like K-dramas.
Like,
I waste my time,
but that's fake though, isn't it? That's fake though, isn't it?
no, K-dramas is like romance, but it's
But it
Korean romance.
But is it
And
fake? Is it made up stories
oh
or
yeah, of course,
reality?
it's not real. No, no.
Oh, well,
It's
see,
like a it's
I
like a
can't watch
Korean
that.
soap opera. It's a Korean soap
Oh, I
opera.
cannot.
Only thing is
No.
that it's so romantic and you don't get a kiss until like your 16 episode, you wait for a kiss. So it's very like it's so much
You know what?
more romantic than like our soap operas are. All you do is you see people in bed together, not even married. But here, no, this is different. This is more of a romantic.
You know what surprises
I
me? I
love it.
know a lot of married women are into like romance like that. To me, that bores the crap out of me, and I'm single. But
Well,
I
because you
don't
don't
get
get it
into that.
anymore at home. You just do the basic, housework.
Yeah,
That's why
but
I
I
don't
don't
like
get
to
it at
watch that.
all. I don't get it at all. And I don't see it. But what I find romantic is like your daughter, how we're doing the quilt for her and everyone's giving her advice and us putting together that. To me, that's romance because it's real and it's somebody that is about to get married and it's a beautiful thing. Like, but the fake stuff, I don't know. It's boring to me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I've been out of the game so long I could care less. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, so gossip is dangerous. It's hurtful. It's there spiritually. It's no good, and you do feel isolated. Why would you want to isolate someone? And even like the person that I told about the gossip, I love her. I would never want to do that. The other person telling me things things about the Pope and weird stories that I know are not true, and they
Oh,
just
I stopped that right away. Oh, I don't
yeah,
like that.
that really
When
infuriates me.
people touch
And I
my
don't, I'm
face
not that
in
fond
any
of the
way,
Pope.
I get very mad.
I know, but I'm not even that fond of the Pope. For me to have to stop that, it's really irritating, because it's above my pay grade, I say.
Oh, I
I'm not
love
going
the
to talk
Pope.
about things that are happening that I don't know. I want to hear, like my son tells me, things that are happening that he hears because, you know, he's just telling me factual, like things that are happening in the news or whatever.
It's
I
a
like to
form of
see.
murder. It's a form of murder.
That's right.
Gossip
I
is a
remember
form of
that
murder. That's why, in the Ten Commandments says, "Thou shalt not kill." Well, you're killing somebody's, um,
reputation.
yeah, and integrity, and their person. You're killing their person, and
And you don't
sometimes
know
that hurts. That hurts more because that
rumors.
travels. Gossip travels, and then you don't know how big it's going to end up getting, and people believe that stuff.
I know.
It's horrible.
And weird stories like I just was like we ended up in a fight and we don't talk anymore because I mean the person knew I'm not the biggest fan of the Pope and I just can't help my personal feelings, but I still respect him and I still respect his office and I still
Oh, I
respect his
love Pope
authority.
Francis. I
I
love
know
Pope.
you do. And I still respect his authority. Um, but I wasn't going to go along with things that were so crazy. I wasn't even going to listen to it. So, actually what it did is it made me want to defend him and realize I think what he's doing is he's trying to include everyone. I think he's coming from a place of trying to unify all the religions. I don't think he's going about it the right way, but he thinks he is. So you have to look at people's motives before you judge them, because most of the time, people have good motives. The majority of people, even if they're doing something wrong, they have good motives. They're just going about it the wrong way. Of course, evil is always about, but most of the time, people have good motives. And that's what we need to keep in mind when someone is gossiping. If they're doing something out of mistake, you can't hang somebody for that stuff. So
Okay,
anyway,
so
we have to
today,
respect.
guys,
We have to respect.
respect is our
Respect,
word.
but respect their people's reputation too, like you said, reputation.
Yes, yes. There's so many forms of respect. Respect for somebody's customs, somebody's
Mm-hmm.
where they're from. There's so many people in the world. They all have different customs. Just like we're used to doing something certain way, they are used to doing or eating something a certain way, or. So we need to respect each other, because Jesus, when he was walking the earth, he also respected. That's one of
But
the things he did the most. And when he didn't like something, like he didn't like the Sadducees, he just didn't talk to them. He just stayed his own way. He just did his own thing.
well,
And
the thing about people's customs is you have to realize we're a country, a melting pot, and you have to embrace people's customs and see what's different about it and unique. And I find different customs fun to look at. Um, so I don't know why people want to disrespect someone's custom, because they could still be American. They could fly the American flag. I don't like when they come over and just fly their flag and forget about America. But if they're flying American flag and their flag, they love their country. They had to come here maybe because of crime or work or opportunities, and they came here legally. Um, I we all came here. My great grandmother from my mother's side came here. Now my father's side, they've been here for longer, but we were once immigrants. Nobody, somehow in your family. So I don't like when people do that about customs. And not only that, it's fun to have diversity. It's fun to look at different cultures. I love it. So anyway, we got to
okay, so
respect.
and don't forget to pray the rosary, guys, today sometime.
And we got to respect and not fall into gossip and
Yes,
try to be a good example.
yes.
Okay. So you
Have a
guys
blessed
have a
day.
great day.
We'll see you later.